Emojis. Yes. What does it mean to be an old person in the techno world? Tuesday, October 25th, 2022. I'm Steven Searski, folks. Hope you're doing well. And I guess I'd be considered one of those old men, old guys. I mean, given my current decadage, decadence, decades. My current age would put me in the old man territory. Especially, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the well, I mean, I do talk to a lot of some of them are a bit older than me, and a few of them are a bit younger than me. But in general, yeah, actually, I don't talk to many people. This is the thing, is like it's not very often that it's all over the place. Hard to say, hard to generalize, to tell you the truth, because I do talk to quite a few different people. But that's just in my nature to yik yak to a bunch of different peoples. This emoji thing actually was kind of funny because it came across the what would you call it? I have a subscriptions, like a series of subscriptions in WeChat, and one of them was this talk about, or this article about emojis and how some people that were surveyed. Now, did it say young people were surveyed? Yeah, I think it did say young people. Which emojis would sort of peg you or mark you as being an old person, as an old man? So 10 emojis that mean that you're officially sold. So a survey of 2,000 people by Prospectus Global found that most people aged between 16 and 29 think you're officially old if you use the thumbs up or heart emoji. Kids, what the fuck are you on? A thumbs up is old? Then what the fuck else do you do? Honestly, what the shit do you do if you're agreeing with somebody? Oh, so you don't use the heart emojis. You can't love anything. So other emojis that make you look old include the okay hand. Okay, I've never used that one. The tick, get that one. The poo emoji. And loudly crying face. Oh, that's the one with the two streams of tears coming from the eyes. Monkey eye cover, clapping hands, lipstick kiss, and grimacing face. Okay, clapping hands. I actually have a special one I use here in WeChat. It's one of the better things of using a program like WeChat. There are so many emojis to sort of choose from, and that it's one of these things where if you can't find, like, I can't remember in Facebook, Twitter doesn't have it. Instagram is a little bit limited, but Facebook, the emoji selection isn't very good. Never used emojis on YouTube, to tell you the truth, nor on TikTok or anything. But yeah, WeChat has these custom-made emojis that a lot of people make, and I use like 3 or 4. There's like a guy who's shrugging with a happy face man who's shrugging with a question mark over him. I call it the smiling man, multicolored smiling man, happy dance man. Was it multicolored smiling happy dance man? And it's this little emoji that has this other emoji face applied on top, multicolored, and it's like doing that sort of retro scroll through the colors and stuff like that. And he's doing this kind of funny dance, and I think it's just hilarious, so I use that one all the time. And then the other one, well, if I'm ever going to applaud, hands that are applauding, and they're sort of done up in the, like, with tuxedo, like they're wearing a tuxedo and they're clapping. I always thought that was kind of amusing as well. What's the other one I use? The other one I would use is one of these stickman happy figures again, but he has his hands, or his head in his hands, and it's like he's sort of waiting for you to respond something, or respond or something like that. So I like those ones. But these other ones, I mean, yeah, I do use the thumbs up because it's easier than saying, it's more interesting than saying okay and then going, yeah, I gotcha, which takes too long to write out. And if you use the thumbs enough, then they're sort of like right there, ready to go, sort of thing, right? I mean, you don't have to search for a cute emoji to agree. I know some people, particularly women, young women, look for new emojis to send each and every time. I don't. I mean, and some of the emojis I do have are maybe can't or shouldn't be shared around, except in sort of exclusive chats, sort of things. And I'm sure we all have those. I don't think we're all. I don't think any of us are strangers to this, but it was kind of funny. survey 16 to 29. I don't know if you kids understand what old is. Yeah, because 16 to 29 is old. 16 to 19 is old. 16 to 21 is old. Because at 16, you're still really surviving off your parents, living off your parents. And if you're out all night, you're getting scolded for that. 21, they're kind of like, you know what? We did our job. Like, we did our job. He chose to be in that rock band. He chose to do that, sort of thing. 29, that's a little bit, 29, you're dating 40-year-olds. And if you're 16 and dating a 40-year-old, it's more worse for the 40-year-old than it is for the 16-year-old in terms of legal fallout. But 29, you're dating 40-year-olds. Come on. By 29, you can be divorced already and have children. 16, that's not going to happen. So, yeah, this age group that they surveyed, I think I have an issue with. Whatever, doesn't matter. You're old if you use the thumbs up or heart emoji. I wonder if it depends on what type of thumbs up it is. Is it the WeChat thumbs up or is it like a generic thumbs up? Good question. Not entirely sure. On that case, women being the breadwinners. So this was another article I saw today that concerned primarily Chinese women being the primary breadwinners of the family. And it was going on about was that these women they were married, they had children, and that I guess at some point, it didn't sound like they started this way, but it sounded more as if they became the breadwinners of the family. Again, it took time, and most of the women that were sort of surveyed were in their late 30s, early 40s. Many of them were divorced at this point. So they all had children, grown children, but they were divorced, which I don't know how the divorce settlements work here in China, but how much money did they get from the husbands? Maybe was it a lot? Was it not a lot? That aside, that argument aside, it was all older women that were sort of in this category, in this group that had been sort of surveyed about being the main breadwinners for their families. Was it necessity? I guess is the other question. Did they have to become the breadwinners, or was it just circumstance? And by circumstance, this kind of goes back to yesterday. Talking about like Putin, not Putin, the other guy, Putin, and Xi Jinping. It's a matter of circumstance that you can blame them for what they're doing or who they are, but the situation that they're in gives them a certain amount of opportunities, a certain number of opportunities, a certain amount of leeway, and pathways to go down. And that's what they've chosen to do. It's just one is easier than the other. Like to not be something would be harder to be something, right? And so same with these women being the breadwinners, it might have just been easier for them to become the breadwinners rather than not to be the breadwinners. And some of them do say there was some of them. I think the common reason for divorce was usually infidelity. Or something along those lines, and one woman basically gave her husband an ultimatum. It's like, listen, if you're gonna fuck around on me like this, I won't file for divorce if you do three things. And if I remember, it was you call her right now in front of me, tell her you never see her again. You don't buy speculative stocks, which I kind of laughed at, like, oh, oops. And you don't have your own money, like you don't have your own bank, you control your finances. And apparently he agreed. So, yeah. That's one situation, but if your wife or girlfriend, partner made more money than you, how would you react? In my mind, I would have it that I'm kind of gearing up to be a stay-at-home dad, and working from home right now is sort of setting me up to be that. What else could I be? Would I go back to the work? I wouldn't not want to go back to work, quote unquote, to the office, because it's not the modern thing to do, or because my wife or girlfriend's making the money. It's because I don't want little Stephanie from point A get them to point B, and that instead of walking around the compound at 7 o'clock in the morning reciting Chinese characters, I am stressing about cutting off toast edges and stuff like that, bread, the the size of a bread. Like what shape is the toast today? I mean, is that causing a big issue? Is this thing really going to matter in your lifetime? No, it